Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Disturbing claims of child sexual abuse prompting the University of Michigan to put one of its professors on leave.
The next COVID vaccine to gain approval may come in just one dose, but may not provide quite as much protection as the others.
Was it a school retreat gone wrong? A federal lawsuit says an Orchard Lake St. Mary's student was traumatized by a sexual assault at the hands of his classmates. Tonight, the school responds. Good evening. That lawsuit filed by a father and son, one a longtime teacher at St. Mary's, the other a student.
It outlines a series of sexualized games played by student athletes and says one of them paid a price for not participating. Defender Sean Lay has more on the allegations and what the school is saying about them. Sean?
Let's get right to what St. Mary's Prep, Devin and Karen, are saying tonight. They are telling us that they investigated these allegations right away, and they say their investigation will show that they did everything right. But we're talking about explosive allegations that go to the very top of St. Mary's Prep administration, stating that they allegedly allowed boys to engage in what is being called naked bowling.
The primary example that is alleged in the complaint is naked bowling, where they put soap and water all over the floor of a shower room, and then they throw naked bodies at each other, all the boys up there, and they're left alone to do that. And one of my clients didn't want to participate and was actually attacked in his room, grabbed that and tried to drag him in, and they relented.
Attorney Bob Palmer represents a now former St. Mary's Prep student and his father, who was a St. Mary's Prep teacher. Both father and son alleging that the school knew of so-called naked games boys played at the school's annual Kairos retreat here at the Columbia Retreat Center in Clarkston, but allegedly did nothing to stop those games. And when one student wanted no part of that activity, he is alleging the other students dragged him from his room and tried to strip him down. Palmer says rising to the level of a sexual assault.
When everybody's naked and you're throwing naked bodies with exposed body parts up against other individuals, and when you're grabbing at somebody in his room and all he's got on is a pair of underpants, and you're grabbing his thighs and his stomach and grabbing at him under the covers, yeah, I certainly think that's what it is.
The alleged incident took place in the spring of 2019. In a statement, St. Mary's Prep says the administration conducted an investigation immediately upon learning of these accusations, which was overseen by a member of our board. We are confident once this information is made public, it will prove the school acted in a completely appropriate manner. Palmer says when the son's father complained, he was fired.
It's kind of ironic that the individual who's assaulted is the son of the teacher. They're both there. So it's an interesting case because they were both impacted greatly by this set of events.
In fact, the attorney there, Mr. Palmer, says the student here was on track his junior year to become valedictorian of St. Mary's Prep his senior year, but he pulled off of campus and homeschooled for his senior year. There's more to St. Mary's Prep's statement. We're putting it all on clickondetroit.com, but they also add, while it would be inappropriate to comment on the dismissal of any employee, meaning the teacher, there are multiple false allegations made in the lawsuit. We plan to present the truth in court. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
We'll learn more about their side of the story. All right, Sean.
And we are tracking some snow for the weekend and early next week.
Let's get into Ben with a look at the forecast. Ben.
Yes, some and then some more as we get into Monday as well. This is going to be a 48-hour event for some of us, and we'll explain why here in a minute. Winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories have been posted all around the Great Lakes, but not for us as of right now. All of that is to our west, and of course, as the storm gets closer, there's a good chance we're at least going to get an advisory out of this, if not a little bit more. Snowfall forecast, you can watch these colors start to go from the grays to the blues and even the purples in some cases. There is still some question about the Monday part of this system. And again, it looks like could be a 48-hour event for some of us, but the weekend temperatures are nice to look at. At least we'll be close to the freezing mark, but of course that's with the impending snow and a lot less of that sunshine than we saw today. So coming up, we'll take a deeper dive into the snow totals in your 4-zone forecast and see if those warmer temperatures hang on, guys.
All right, and with the snow coming this weekend, you'll definitely want to make sure to have the Local Forecasters app. Andrew Humphrey will be busy updating it all weekend long as the snow approaches. You can download it for free in the App Store. Just search WDIV.
A University of Michigan professor of computer science and engineering has been arrested and arraigned on allegations that he sexually abused an 11-year-old girl. Mara McDonald following this story today. She joins us now live with more on the case. Mara, the university, as we reported last night, has put this man on administrative leave.
That's right, Devin. According to the university, Professor Peter Chen is on leave and his course load has been handed off to others. Meanwhile, the Ann Arbor police say that he is accused of sexually abusing an 11-year-old girl and that her family was friends with him. Professor Peter Chen has been arrested and arraigned on first-degree criminal sexual conduct. Per Ann Arbor police, the victim is an 11-year-old girl. Assaults are alleged to have happened from summer of 17 through fall of 18 at his home, at a robotics field trip, and another science field trip. Chen and the victim's family are friends. Tonight, the university sent us a brief statement. Peter Chen was arraigned on a criminal charge Wednesday and immediately placed on administrative leave. The investigation is being handled by Ann Arbor police. There's no indication that this matter is related to Professor Chen's teaching or research at U of M. Back here live, Chen has been arraigned. We expect him to be back in court on February 4th. The judge gave him a personal recognizance bond. We are live in Northville right now. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
All right, Mara. Let's move now to the coronavirus. There is progress with a new vaccine and an update on high school sports in our state.
All right, we start with today's case numbers. Michigan reported 1,774 new cases and 6 new deaths. University of Michigan's athletic department reports 11 new cases this week. That is a decrease from 22 new cases the week before.
The state now says it is considering moving up that February 21st restart for high school sports after a push by parents, the MHSAA, and some lawmakers. The group Let Them Play says a lawsuit to try to force a quicker restart is on hold for now, but tomorrow they are planning a rally in Lansing.
Johnson & Johnson announced it plans to file for an emergency use authorization with the FDA within the week. While the data released today shows it's somewhat less effective than the Pfizer-Moderna vaccines, experts say this one-shot option could still have a dramatic impact on helping fight the pandemic.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine was tested in more than 43,000 volunteers in the U.S., Latin America, and South Africa. The level of success depends on which numbers you look at. Here are the key ones. In the U.S. trials, the vaccine was 72% effective at preventing moderate and severe symptoms. It was 66% effective in Latin America, but just 57% effective in South Africa, where most cases were caused by that concerning new South African variant. Across all the countries, there were no deaths from COVID-19 in the group that received the vaccine, a point highlighted by the head of research and development for Johnson & Johnson.
The way I think about this vaccine is it helps 100% of people. It either stops you from getting COVID or it helps you, if you get COVID, have a much milder version of COVID.
There were no major side effects reported, including no allergic reactions. The vaccine does have advantages over the other available options. It only requires one dose and can be stored in a normal refrigerator, making it easier to transport and potentially more accessible. This is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine uses a weakened cold virus to carry genetic instructions into the body to trigger the immune response. With vaccine expected to remain in short supply for younger, healthier Americans for months, the CDC believes a third option will help.
Any vaccine is better than no vaccine as long as it meets the standards required under the EUA. And in the event that you have the choice to be vaccinated, I'd encourage you to take the vaccine that you're given.
If authorized by the FDA, Johnson & Johnson expects 100 million doses to be out to the public by the end of June.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine still has to go through the review process by the FDA, and that's expected to take a few weeks once the official application is submitted.
Some Michiganders are getting an unwelcome surprise in the mail. 1099-G forms for unemployment benefits they never applied for or received. It's news of a massive fraud effort. Our business editor Rob Maloney here tonight to tell us about this identity theft problem, but also offer some helpful solutions on what to do about it. Rob?
Well, Devin, let's start with this. The unemployment agency has been overwhelmed and was underprepared for all of this. And this is another example because the hack happened last year, but we are not just now beginning to see the real ripple effect of this and its stolen benefits hurting people yet again. School teacher Kimberly DeSandre received her unwelcome snail mail 4 days ago.
They're saying that I've collected $6,700 in unemployment.
So did librarian Breck McCrory.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Breck's hit is for $10,000. Making matters worse, she's been dealing with this for the past 8 months. The 1099-G is just the latest in a long line of problems.
They keep telling me, don't worry about it, it's going to go away, but I don't want to have to claim this on my taxes.
The larger issue for many, though, is it's not enough to get nicked for money they didn't apply for and never received. They're getting kicked up into a higher tax bracket where the tax bill is still higher. The State of Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency offers this advice if you're among the many who received their bogus 1099-Gs. Go to the State of Michigan Unemployment website, look for the Report Identity Theft tab. They say you should complete a UIA Form 6349 and give the most expensive and specific information you can as part of that report. If all goes well, expect to receive a UIA fraud confirmation notice. That should net you a corrected 1099-G. Should that fail, the state points to the IRS guidance that says if you do not receive a corrected 1099-G, do not report the income on your tax return. Instead, attach an explanation with your forms. Breck and Kimberly say good luck with hearing from the state.
This is like the biggest screw up I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so that went by quickly, and it was hard to follow. I understand that. So here's what we're going to do. Go to clickondetroit.com. We made it obvious on the page where to find all of that information. We will have all the links to take you where you need to go to learn everything you need to do to make sure that whatever happened to you in all of this, you can resolve. Back to you, Devin.
Rod, have they been able to figure out just how widespread this has become?
Well, Devin, I received a lot of email on this today.
Yeah.
Retirees had their identities stolen. You've had people who were working. They've been getting in recurring problems. But here's the one you need to think about. I just heard from a business owner, and he said that his unemployment rates went from like 1.5% to 10% because this is not monopoly money. The money has to come from somewhere. So businesses are getting hit to pay this tab on the stolen money they had nothing to do with. And so we're going to see the ripple effect on this for quite some time.
Yeah, what a wrinkle to that. All right, Rod.
Still ahead tonight, they are the ultimate survivors.
For all of us struggling through the pandemic, here's some advice from Holocaust survivors.
People should realize they're here only on borrowed time. They are not here forever.
Tonight, hear from those who survived the Nazis and are now getting vaccinated in a global pandemic.